Welcome back to Golf Xtra. In the wake of the LIV-PGA merger, many throughout the golf world are taking a re-examination of what the PGA Tour has to offer its players. Money from winning tournaments aside, there are a lot of other perks to being a PGA Tour golfer. Some of these perks occur during the tournaments themselves, and some occur during the days off and the off-season themselves. But what is the true PGA edge? And what benefits are there that could be attractive to golfers in the future given the nature of the merger? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into the PGA's true edge and the hidden perks available to the golfers on the tour. Being a PGA Tour member is a coveted spot among many amateur and collegiate players, but once they reach that level, they might be surprised to find that there are additional perks to the job than just getting to play golf throughout the year is your job. But what are those perks? One of the PGA Tour's top perks that will have a lot of sports fans jealous is their policy of getting their players tickets to other major sporting events. For example, players playing at the Dell Technologies Championship, held annually in Boston, are often gifted tickets to Red Sox baseball games. The same occurs when players who are playing at the Valero Open in San Antonio get tickets to Spurs basketball games. We're guessing those are going to be an even hotter commodity given San Antonio's recent draft pick of Victor Wembanyama. Finally, players who win major tournaments often get to go out on the course for their favorite local team and show off their trophies, which isn't necessarily done for them by the PGA Tour, but we're guessing that they're happy to coordinate. However, not every PGA Tour player has been a huge fan of the PGA Tour's generous ticket-giving policy. Everybody's favorite golf villain, Patrick Reed, had a problem with the seats given to him and several of his family members for a Boston Red Sox baseball game back in 2018. Apparently, Reed paid extra for a seat upgrade on top of what he was already offered by the PGA Tour, and he wasn't happy with the seats that he got in return. On Twitter, Reed scathingly wrote, "Thank you, PGA Tour, for the tickets to the Red Sox game tonight. I love how you put my wife, sister-in-law, and myself in the line drive section. We paid $650 to upgrade our seats and ended up in the same section as the rest of the PGA Tour." Reed is, to our knowledge, the only player who has complained about the free tickets, though, so we can assume that the rest of the players getting free tickets are quite a bit happier than him with their perk. Though players often have to charter their own flights between events, the PGA Tour does sometimes charter flights for players between specific tournaments. This includes a popular charter flight between the John Deere Classic and the Open Championship, both of which are prominent events that many of the Tour's top players participate in. Once they are at the tournaments, players enjoy a bevy of perks, courtesy of the event sponsors and their own individual sponsors. This includes the players receiving free food, whether that's from famous restaurants catering tournaments, food trucks being located on the course during tournaments for the benefit of both players and fans, or even personal chefs being made available to players. Players also often receive courtesy cars from tournament events, given that they are often traveling between events via plane and don't have a car readily available. This can occur at any event, but especially at those sponsored by car companies like the Genesis Open or the BMW Championship. Maybe the Tour will someday create a Ferrari Open, complete with courtesy cars. That would be the most coveted Tour invite of all, if so. Golf often becomes a bit of a chore for players on the PGA Tour. After all, it is their job. So it's nice of the PGA Tour to set up recreational excursions outside of the normal scope of the events. These events include things like fishing, restaurant outings, and more. One of the most notable events that has a little built-in perk like this is the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass, where only tour players and their caddies are allowed to fish in the waters around the famous 16th hole. Legend has it that there are some pretty big bass in those waters, but only the tour members know for sure. It's not only players who win the big PGA golf tournaments who get prizes at the end, rather all players will sometimes receive free items just for participating. After all, even the players who finish lower on the leaderboard are still professional golfers who bring competition to the events. Some of the events where free items are given out to players include the Sanderson Farms Championship, which gives out Big Green Egg grills to players, and the Zurich Classic, which lets players choose from an assortment of luxury belts. These brands also get the benefit of free advertising from the players who they give the gifts to, seeing as those players usually have large social media followings and legions of loyal fans. PGA Tour players also get unparalleled access to some of the world's most exclusive courses. Even if they're not among the players who have become household names, many PGA players are connected enough to fans of their golf game that they can find their way onto private courses that otherwise would only be open to members or during tournament season. For example, some players are able to obtain invitations to play at the famous Augusta National Golf Course, home of the annual Masters tournament, during the months surrounding the tournament. This helps them to be familiar with the course, even though it tends to be modified quite a bit in the time leading up to the tournament itself. Perhaps the strongest benefit available to PGA Tour golfers is the retirement plan. As of April 2023, the PGA Tour held well over $1 billion in retirement plans for its players, though that number is separated out between the Cuts plan and the FedEx Cup bonus plan. In the Cuts plan, golfers playing in at least 15 events in a season get credit for each event that they make the cut in, to the tune of $4,800 being deposited in their retirement account for every cut made. On top of that, once they make 15 cuts during the course of a season, the amount that gets deposited into the player's account doubles to $9,600 for every subsequent cut made. To get fully vested, or to have full ownership of their retirement account, players need to play in 15 or more events each season for 5 or more seasons. They can then access this money once they reach the age of 50 years old. On the other hand, the FedEx Cup bonus plan is another way that golfers can earn money towards their retirement account, although it requires golfers to be somewhat better performing than the Cuts plan. Under this plan, golfers receive some of their annual FedEx Cup winnings as deferred compensation. That is, it's deposited into their retirement account. The amount varies depending on the player's finishing place in the FedEx Cup and the resulting amount of money that they win. For example, the first-place finisher in the Cup, Rory McIlroy, won $18 million in the 2022 FedEx Cup, resulting in $1 million being deposited into their retirement account. Each player outside of the top 30 in the FedEx Cup only gets their winnings in the form of deferred retirement compensation, ranging from $250,000 for the 31st place player all the way down to $85,000 for the 150th place player in 2022. That's not a bad year in terms of retirement contributions on its own, but combine it with the earnings from the Cuts plan and the PGA Tour retirement plan becomes to look extremely robust. Ron Price, the chief operating officer of the PGA Tour, described in an interview how the retirement plan is merit-based, saying, "Everything we pay out has to be earned, including retirement money. It's our long-standing objective that if a player makes a career on the PGA Tour, they should have a secure retirement. We make sure we're always funding adequately for everyone, but there also has to be a competitive element." Price also added that, "We've had many people describe these as the best retirement plans in sports." So there you have it. Not only do PGA players get lots of benefits and perks like sports tickets, charter flights, and free food, but they also have what might be the best retirement plan in all of sports. It's not bad at all. Oh yeah, and they can also play as much golf as they want, which might be the best perk of them all. So what do you think about the benefits available to PGA Tour golfers? Do you think that the Tour will increase benefit further in the wake of the LIV-PGA merger? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.